Perseverance was the name of the game for Team Georgia and Goga. It was a bit of a struggle, but they were able to come through late. We'll go through Goga's full game in just a moment. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. You got to do the normal YouTube stuff, so hit that like button, share this video, drop a comment below on what you thought of the game, and if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers before the beginning of the season. So let's start off with Goga's stats for today's game. In 25 minutes, Goga scored 8 points on only 2 of 5 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, and that was even blocked. But he hit his free throws, and he went 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the second half, which was very important for them to continue to have momentum in the game. Only 2 rebounds, but 4 big assists and 1 huge block late in the game. It was a real struggle of a game for Goga, this one. He really wasn't involved as much as he had been in group stage for Team Georgia offensively for whatever reason. I don't know if it was just the matchup. France weren't very big on the inside, so I'm not entirely sure why they weren't really trying to pound it in. It could just be because in this game, everyone else was playing well, which hadn't happened in the group stages. There would really only be about 1 or 2 of them that would play well during the game. So either Baldwin or Shangelia or Mamu, but it wasn't really all 3 of them at any point. So Goga had to pick up the slack in scoring a lot during the group stage. But today, all 3 of them played really well. So Goga's role ultimately ended up being more of what he will be for the Magic. Rebounding, which he didn't have too many rebounds, but at least fight for the rebounds. Keep the ball moving once he had the ball, a couple dribble handoffs. We'll see one of those in the film that I put together. And defense, getting a big block late in the game. So you'll see there was some frustration from him. So again, I don't know if that was a symptom of just not feeling involved in the game, knowing the magnitude of the game, or what it was, just the emotions bubbling over, because they're an emotional bunch in Team Georgia if you haven't watched the games. So in that respect, not entirely sure what was happening there, but all in all, looking at the stats, they don't really pop or jump off the screen at you. But in the end, when it came time for plays to be made at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, he was the one that was right in the middle of everything. So for the rest of the game, not too much. He really wasn't very impactful at all in the first half. There's only 1 or 2 plays in the first half that I put in the film just because he was really non-existent. He didn't have that many rebounds. He didn't have any blocks. He didn't have any steals. He had no points. So there was really nothing that Goga did really in the first half. But again, he came out more aggressive in the second half. He got fouled a couple times while he was trying to shoot. You'll see that he made those free throws. In the end, he was very impactful late in the game to secure this very big upset against Team France. So now if we just show his averages and what he's done so far in EuroBasket, he's averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist on 57% shooting, 35% from 3. As you see that the last couple games, he's 0 for 5, so that's really dropped his average, but 35% is much better than 10% that he shot last year. So if we can get 35% from 3 over the course of the season from Goga, that would be outstanding. And he hit all 4 of his free throws in this game. So it brought up his average to 67% from the free throw line. So that's very important for the Magic in this upcoming season, especially if he's going to get a lot of playing time. We'll see how the rotations go. But if he's able to play so well that it's going to be hard to keep him off the court, free throws, 3-pointers, those are going to be part of the equation. So all in all, so far, he's played very well. This was probably his one stinker of a game. And as I mentioned in yesterday's game, it would be a shame that this would be the one that he would go home on. So thankfully, they were able to advance, and now they play Finland in the quarterfinals. Hopefully, he's able to have a much better game and be much more impactful. So if we go quickly to his video, just to give a little bit of a disclaimer on the videos, due to FIBA being particular, and rightfully so, about having their content on YouTube, I've had to put small breaks in between the film so that it's instead of it running the whole entire time, I do a little bit of a pause so that we're able to have this upload to YouTube because I like to show the video as well as just talk about the game. So that's the reason why that is. So apologies in advance if it's a bit annoying. It's the best that we can do. Luckily, the NBA Advanced Stats isn't as strict so that my player profiles are able to go through without a problem. But let's get going. It's going to be pretty quick, actually. You didn't have that many shots. You didn't have that many rebounds. You didn't have that many blocks. So the film isn't going to be very long for Goga in this game. Here, again, as you see, they normally at the beginning of the game are getting either Goga a shot or involving him in the play. So in the first play of the game, Goga's down in the blocks here. Again, they weren't very big, so I'm not entirely sure why they didn't try a bit more inside. Goga misses that one there. Then a nice little, this is right out of the Orlando Magic playbook. A little dribble handoff. He rolls. Baldwin was on fire in today's game. So was Shengelia. So I guess that's why they didn't go as much into Goga. But here's another one of his shots. So those are his two shots. I'm only going to pause this for a second because here is where it's a bit more of a problem to have that little barrier in front because it's something for frustrated players to be able to kick. Hopefully Goga's foot's okay because he was definitely frustrated in that first half and came out in the second half with a much better frame of mind. In the second half, it's nice really early on. He gets fouled in this one, but there's no call, but he's able to get that one to go in. And then here again on the post up, he's going to go on his right side, get fouled, hit both of those free throws, which is great. Again, coming in, he's going to go. Double team comes. He has the advantage there and fouled. Hits those two free throws. So those free throws were huge. It was a 10-point margin in the end, and his free throws were important because after his first two free throws, they were down. And if he would have missed both of those, that might have been very deflating. But he hit them both, and that brought them back to being down just one. Then they were able to build upon that. They kept the momentum, they kept the lead. He has the ball here. It's pretty late in the game. Georgia's up by 2 at this point. Nice. He's by himself. There's only one defender to beat. If you were to watch my player profile on Goga, I talk about a push shot. Instead of maybe doing that, he wants to take it to the basket, but a nice little push shot here because that guy was reading him from the beginning. He was going to try to draw a charge. That guy wouldn't have been able to block a shot, wouldn't be able to do anything. So Goga kind of plays into his into the trap there. So he gets the foul call there. Now the next play right after that, Goga comes out to challenge and gets blown by. He's hoping to be able to size him up from behind, but he's not able to, and he's quite frustrated about it. So then there's a timeout called because the game was tied at 68. Then the next play after that, we have Baldwin here, who again, Baldwin played incredible. Shengelia played incredible. Mamu played really well. So this definitely was a team effort by Georgia. So in that way, it was a great team victory, even if Goga didn't have the greatest of games. But Goga, normal pick and roll. He rolls here. The defense collapses on him. We have almost four guys with the eyes on him. So he has two guys open here. He makes the right read, gets the ball out to the hot hand, Shengelia, who lines it up. It's a huge three with 3 minutes left. And then right after that, here he steps up to stop ball. Now there's a defender behind him all by himself, but luckily Goga is able to react in time and get a huge block there to keep the lead at 3. Then by then, with free throws and the end of the game, he's going to get a nice chippy dunk to put a huge exclamation point on this victory. And then then the emotions spill out. The guys came out. One of the guys were almost slipping on themselves to come out and greet the team after that. It's a big team victory for Team Georgia. They played together. They were able to keep any runs from France at bay. If you saw any of the stats from the group stages, you would see that on paper, this was a huge mismatch. And Georgia shouldn't even be on the same court as them. But that's what we love about sports. The team came together. They were able to hold France to much lower than their average score, as well as them shooting lights out for themselves. They were able to make 10 3-pointers, which is by far the most that they've made in the tournament. So they were able to keep that momentum throughout the entire game. And with Baldwin and Shengelia and Mamu playing super well, Goga was impactful late in the game, and he played a lot more as he will for the Orlando Magic. So in that way, it was kind of good to make sure that he could still have that role where he's the dribble handoff passer. He's the one that can pass out of the pick and roll to spray it out to the shooters, as well as make big defensive plays when they need to happen. So for the Magic fans, hopefully that's a great sight and something that we hope to see next year. Now, if he's able to continue shooting the way he's shooting now, that would be ideal as well. We can have a few extra threes in our back pocket if Goga is going to start shooting them. But if not, then at least we're able to see the other things that made him so big for us last season. To give Goga a grade for this game, I'd say D plus. To be honest, for the entire game, he was non-existent. He didn't have really any impact at all in the first half. It wasn't until the second half where we had a bit of impact, and even then, it might be a much lesser grade if it wasn't for the big plays down the stretch. Not the greatest game for Goga, but him and Team Georgia live to play another game, so we'll see how they do versus Finland. So luckily for me, Georgia and Team Germany play on the same night, so I'll be able to put everything together into one video on Wednesday night coming to you guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. Again, do all the normal YouTube things. So hit that like, share the video, drop a comment below on how you felt Goga played in today's game, or let me know what you thought of the video. And if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content that I produce. Again, I really appreciate you for spending time talking a little bit of magic with me, and I hope you're having a great day.